First, I'd like to kind of hear from our first guest, from the Film Augusta, aka the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Jennifer Bowen, Sarah Childers, will you guys please come up here? And I'm going to kind of just let them spiel a little bit, and then we can feel free to ask them questions and yeah, just the mic is just sort of there for. It looks cool.
Okay, great.
Just ignore it.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you, Nick. We appreciate it. Well, thank you for letting us come and talk to you. Many of you, I think, know us. We've worked together, but we are Film Augusta, which is a division of the Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau. And the Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau is the film liaison office for the city of Augusta. So we just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk to you all about that. And tell you what we do, how we can help you, what some of our efforts are, and then also tell you about our website and some documents and things like that. So we are here to talk together, so I'm going to make Sarah talk some as well. And if you have questions about any of what I'm telling you about, you can go ahead and stop me along the way, and I'll be happy to answer them. First of all, let me just find out if most of you know what a film commission is. Do you know what a film commission is? So a couple of hands, okay? Well, a film commission is a organization that is authorized by the city to represent it, to help attract productions to the city, also to help be the liaison between productions and the city, and basically be the first stop shop for a production who's hoping to choose the city to do some filming in. And film commissions are a government-like entity. Sometimes in other places they are actually part of the city government. In our case, our Convention and Visitors Bureau is contracted with the city of Augusta to promote Augusta as a tourism destination and also as a film destination. And so there are film commissions around the world, actually, that do this kind of job, and that's what we do and what our role is to act as. So really, that's what I'm here to tell you just a little bit about. We go by the name Film Augusta because we are a division of the Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Film Augusta really resonates, obviously, with the film industry. So Nick and Sarah and I were having lunch today, and I kind of described it as if somebody was going to Google, I'm going to film in Augusta, they're not going to Google Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau, right? They're going to Google film, Augusta film. And so we want to make sure that we are resonating with the film industry, and that is why we go by Film Augusta, so that they will know us. We do have a Film Augusta website, so I'd encourage you to check that out. It's filmaugusta.com, and there you can, great, yep, there we are. There you can find out a lot more information about us as well. Part of what we do to help market the city of Augusta as a film location is to really fill the website with a location database. So we are always adding to photos to a film location database, which actually uploads directly to the Georgia Film Office database. We are the State of Georgia Film Office's camera-ready designee. And basically what that means is that many years ago, the State of Georgia Film Office wanted to make sure every county in the state of Georgia had a representative that could be the one-stop shop, the go-to person who knew how to be film-friendly in their city. And so the Augusta Convention and Visitors Bureau has had that role. And what that means is that when we upload photos of Augusta to the Georgia Real Scout photo library, that makes them accessible to people who are considering Georgia. And also it goes directly to a site called Locations Hub, which means that it actually is accessible worldwide for people who are looking to Georgia to film. We also are members of an organization called the Association of Film Commissioners International. And that allows us to go to some education classes, but it also opens some doors for us. So I attended the trade show there in LA. It's always, there's a presence in LA last year, and through some networking opportunities, that helps us to meet people in the industry. And so in this year, we've had the opportunity to host somebody from Netflix and somebody from HBO as a result of actually being in LA and making those connections. So that's a little bit of what we're doing. We also, on a local level, work directly with many of you and the people here at Indie Grip. Whenever there is a production that's locating in Augusta, one of the first things that we ask them is do you need local crew? Let us tell you about the crew. And then we put them in touch with people here at Indie Grip, who then put them in touch with all of you, many times through the Southeastern Filmmakers website and other places, the call, and that kind of a thing as well. One thing that Nick asked me at lunch today was specifically how could you help us? And there are a couple of things that I think that you could do to help us. One, on the State of Georgia website, there is a place for you to register as crew. It's called REEL, REEL, crew. And it's free to register. And it just makes a lot of sense that if you would go into that website, and we can provide one of those links for you as well, and you register as crew there, then when a production does locate in Augusta, or even if they're just looking at Georgia in general, they can see that you're available and what your expertise is. So please think about doing that as well. And then also, when people here are helping to put together a crew, they can actually look at that spreadsheet, that listing as well. Another thing that you can do to help us is that we are always adding locations, like I said. So if you're taking location photos for any kind of production that you're working on and you're willing to share them with us, then we can also use those to upload and to further market Augusta as a production destination. And that just helps us to basically get a vast location variety listed on the website. Let's see. Real Scout is that photo library that I told you about with the state of Georgia. Real Crew is where I'm telling you to go to register. And then the other thing we wanted to tell you about is how the city of Augusta has a process to get clearance to film in our city. We still do not have any permits that are required for filming. We do have a registration process that allows our office to help coordinate some local services. So if you're planning to do a larger kind of a production, and there might be prop cars that are marked as law enforcement or emergency vehicles, that's something that the rest of our community needs to know about. Our services, like our fire department, our sheriff's department, our ambulance department in particular, so that they're aware of what's happening. And this registration form really takes you through the process to do that. There still is not a permit on the city side. If you want to use city-owned facilities, you don't have to get a permit, but you do have to go through an application process that just gives them some information and also shows a proof of insurance that you are insured for your production and signs a release form. That's what's obligated or required from the city. And those documents can be found on the Film Augusta website as well. So we're here to help you to be filmmakers, to film here in Augusta, obviously. We're here to help bring productions to Augusta, to give you some jobs and employment. And we're also here to hear about anything that we can do to help you to do more of what you're doing. Any questions or comments for us? Yeah.
No, absolutely. First of all, thank you for coming out and meeting us. I've been here for about a year and a half, and didn't even know we had a commission here in Augusta. So knowing that is, you've given us the resources here that you are working with. I'm curious though, is how are you, I know you mentioned that you're contracted by the city. How are you truly resourced really to handle the potential business of film that's coming into here? Is it just the two of you, or?
The two of us are dedicated staff to Film Augusta. We do still wear Convention and Visitor Bureau hats. So when I'm not working I split my time between film and being the Vice President of Destination Development. And Sarah splits her time between film and being a Community Engagement Manager for the Tourism Bureau. But it is the two of us that are dedicated, but really it is the entire staff of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. It is the two of us that are dedicated to it, but then really the rest of our staff can also be a part of helping to, like we have a marketing staff that helps us with the Film Augusta website, that helps us with marketing materials and things like that. So
You're contracted, not
Yes.
employees of the government.
Yes.
So in other words, there are no industry professionals actually truly working in the office.
Well, I'm not sure that you would say that we're not industry professionals. I've been working in this role for 16 years.
I'm sorry, not your role, but as far as for a true coming from a production background, as far as
Well, I actually do have a media production background, so yes. Anything else? Any other questions? Are any of you familiar with the registration form or have any questions or concerns about that?
Just it's not with the rest. Well, I'm looking at drone filming in downtown in different areas. Is there a permit process that we go through for that?
So the best answer is call me and let me help you. Because technically there is a drone application on the books and you go through the sheriff's department, I would lead you through that process. A lot of the time the sheriff's department will say, let's not worry about that. But it is really good to go through it and ask, and then they usually say, we're just not going to bother.
Yeah, I want to like go through the proper channels, and I know some are just go for it, but I kind of like.
Yeah, it's always good to have it in place that you did everything that you were supposed to do. And then if the sheriff's department turns around and says, we're not going to worry about it, then at least you have that in writing and you can say that as well.
Yeah, we can't stress enough that we're an advocate for your productions to be successful. If you tried to contact, like say you want to film at a cemetery, a park, and a vacant jail, you can go ahead and do the groundwork and call all those people and they'll all tell you to call us. Or you can just ask us, and because we're not the city, we don't have as many processes in place, like people to check with and stuff like that. And so we have the freedom to at least get back to you a little bit more quickly. This designation as the Film Commission is designed to streamline the process because the city bureaucracy is so vast. So we were just designated to be that person. And I've only been in this role since November, and I don't have a film or production background. My husband does, but you don't inherit that when you get married, unfortunately. It would be great if I could just download his information. But I can say knowledge of locations, knowledge of what is needed, and the learning curve that Jen has taken on in the several years that she's been doing to handling this. Like, I'm blown away by the new things she shows me in Augusta and the things that she just learned about the Film Commission. And so, like, you're in good hands with us. We want to help you. We're your advocates, I guess, is just kind of the main takeaway we want you to take from us being here tonight.
Yeah.
So on the website, I can reach you.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think Nick is going to send out something in kind of a newsletter fashion that will have our contact information and the link to the website and anything else that we've talked about here today. In the back.
Just wanted to, kind of piggyback, I'm not really, I guess it's a little bit of an endorsement. This past weekend, I was in Atlanta at the Location Managers Guild International meeting, Southeastern Regional meeting, and her name was mentioned twice by people at Marvel and Paramount. I don't know if she even knows them, but they knew who she was and they knew she represented Augusta. So there's something positive going on. Again, I'm still learning all that stuff, but that's one of the things I was going to tell you. And I'll tell you 9:30 in the morning. But I thought this was a great opportunity to say no. Awesome. But they know who she is and they know the work she's putting in. So I don't know what that means for Augusta. I'm only hopeful. I've got big pipe dreams for Augusta. But she's doing something to get in there.
Yeah, well, thank you, Russ. I appreciate that. I mean, I think you all probably know that this is a real word of mouth business. And I have actually worked for the Convention and Visitors Bureau and been the film liaison for the last 16 years. I will really credit this organization, the Indie Grip, and the Augusta Film Office for giving us a real kick in the butt to get busy about being proactive and not being reactive. But we really are doing that, and we are doing it in partnership with many of you. I'll give you a good, for instance, Mark Crump and I have worked on several productions together. Last January, we hosted a producer together. We're going to see the fruit of that labor before much longer. There's One Heart film that is coming. Mark's going to tell you more about it before tonight's meeting is over. That is something that I helped to bring right here immediately as soon as we found out that they were interested in shooting in Augusta. And there are many others that, we're just waiting for them to drop. So we've got a really good partnership going on right now. We're all interested in seeing Augusta become a film location and destination and hub, and there's a lot of promise. All right, great. Well, thank you for your attention and for... Well, we appreciate that very much. We appreciate the welcome, and we said to Nick that we'd like to, come more often, and maybe we can bring some updates throughout the year as well, and we'll figure that out. Cool. Great, thank you.